Hello, and welcome everyone to an overview of risk intelligence. We're really going to be covering the highlights and the basic workflow for your clients. Before we get into any details, it's important to understand what this application is. Orion Risk Intelligence combines next level business intelligence, risk analytics, and economic research to help you guide each client towards investment strategies that work for them, regardless of what's happening in the world. So, really, it's a tool to help guide your decisions, and you can create PDF proposals to help talk through those decisions with your clients. You'll see on my screen here that I have a list of clients. And when you go through the onboarding process, our teams will help you connect the clients and their portfolios that live in the Orion Connect system, and they'll flow into the Orion Risk Intelligence application. However, this tool is not meant just for your existing clients. You'll notice a create client option on the upper left-hand side. So you can create proposals for prospects and you can talk them through the same decisions as well. On here, I'm going to go to my client Cosmo and Stella Orion. One of my favorite features of the Risk Intelligence app is that it lays out the basic workflow at the top for me. The first being the risk tolerance. Our holdings will already be checkmarked when you open up a new client. That's because the portfolios are flowing in from Orion. We will set a recommended model, and then we will view the results. We'll be able to compare our client's current holdings with the recommendations, and then this is also where we'll get our output for our client meetings. Our first step here is the risk tolerance. When I click on that option, I have 3 ways to get the risk score for my client. The first one is to set a score manually. This can be helpful if you have a score from a previous test or a different system that you would like to use. And then I would recommend putting in a reason for that risk score. This can help with compliance and for record keeping purposes. Our other options are to take the survey. This will be our 3D risk profile questionnaire, which is part of our larger behavioral finance tools. So you can take it with your client. And you are also able to email the survey out if you want them to take it on their own time. And once that risk score is completed, whichever method, you will see it on the heat meter here. If I then click onto the meter, I will be able to see the survey history. So if maybe in a year from now, we would like our client to take the risk questionnaire again, I will be able to see the new score as well as the old score so we can keep track of those. If I did set a score manually, I'll be able to see that reasoning here that I would have input manually. The other nice thing about this feature here is that if my clients do take this questionnaire on their own, or if we want to review their questions and the answers separately, we can click on that date stamp and take a look at the answers my client submitted if this is something that we would like to go over during a meeting. Like I mentioned, our holdings are already going to be flowing in. If this by chance is going to be a prospect, you'll want to click and then choose any of the options here, Quick Add being the most popular. You can use an Excel sheet to import dollar values or shared quantities. You can copy and paste all those symbols and dollars from your Excel sheet into here and save that as a quick and easy way to input your clients or your prospects' current holdings. Our third step is to set the recommendation, our recommended model. I can do that either at the entire portfolio level or for individual accounts. Once I click set recommendation, I have a few options. I can choose a model, blend models, copy existing holdings, or create a new one. For our purposes here and for most purposes, we're going to click on choose model. I'll be able to see a list of models that I have available for my firm. I have my client's risk score at the top for convenience purposes, and then I'm going to choose the model that most closely aligns with that risk score. My third step is done, and I now see all three scores on the heat meter: my client's risk, their holdings, and the risk of the recommendation I've set. My last piece is the results page. The results are broken up into two different categories. On the left, with the risk profile comparison and stress testing, these are going to be more for you, the advisor, to analyze and compare the holdings with the recommendation that you set. On the right-hand side, you have more client-facing options. The PDF proposal being the most highly used option here. First, going into risk comparison, I now see the holdings next to the recommendations, and I can take a look at all of the items we have, like asset allocation, risk return, a variety of statistics, again, comparing each. And then down here, we also have scenarios that we can compare and see how each is going to hold up. For example, what happens if the March 2020 COVID-19 crash happens again? How is the holdings and how is the recommendation going to hold up? Which one's going to be my preferred? There are quite a bit of options that you can take a look at in the risk comparison. And my favorite option is the edit page layout on the left-hand side. This will take you to a summary of what's included in the comparison. You can then click on the X to take out any items that you don't like to use, or you can rearrange them to fit your best needs easily by clicking and dragging and then submitting when you're done with your changes. Going back to my client on the left-hand side, let's go back to the results page, and this time let's go into stress testing. Again, the purpose here is to compare my holdings with the recommendation, and I can move the levers here, like moving the S&P 500 in a positive direction or a negative direction. I also have the option to show all levers, and I can move these around as I see fit, and they'll also move in relation to each other. Another popular way to use the stress test is looking through our scenarios. There are a variety at the top of the page, or you can also click on trending scenarios like the US dollar direction. You'll then see in this scenario, US dollar direction, how each is performing depending on the related outcomes on the left-hand side, whether it be in the positive direction, a slightly negative, or a more negative direction. Seeing how each is holding up and deciding which is going to be the best. Maybe we do like our recommendation, or maybe we need to make some changes. We've now completed our entire process on the top, with the last option being in the results section, our PDF proposal. Most of the items here are going to be pre-filled out for us since we launched the proposal tool from the client's profile. A couple items that you want to take a look at is the template. There are templates that a firm can set for the entire organization if we want the same proposal for everyone, or you can give the options for advisors to create their own templates. That way they can choose something that makes best sense for them and their clients. You'll notice on the right-hand side that the proposal section opened up. This is what's currently being included. Again, just like with editing the page layout in the risk profile comparison, I can also take sections out of here or rearrange them for this run of the proposal. If I need a reminder of what any of these sections look like, I can hover to the right to the little magnifying glass, and that's going to give me a preview of what this section looks like. And I can then decide, do I want to use it, or do I want to maybe remove it for this run? Another really nice item about the proposal tool is that you can send it to Orion, and this will upload the PDF into the client portal, and that can make giving your client the proposal a lot quicker than having to go in and manually uploading that for them later. Then you'll just hit generate, and you can review the proposal and review that with your client as well. Once you get into risk intelligence, I highly recommend playing around with the tool, maybe creating a prospect for yourself and exploring the tool. You'll also, like I mentioned, go through an onboarding process where you will go through training, and the Orion team will be here to help you. Thank you for listening to this overview and for taking the time to learn more about Orion.